There was some great baby snapper at the supermarket this morning. I couldn't resist them. I had to buy a few. Now I have to find a way to cook them. And look, often I just cook them very, very simply on the barbecue, just with a good squeeze of lemon and some seasoning and a little brushing of olive oil. But I'm not outside and I haven't got the barbecue here, so what I have to do is something inside. And I love this dish. This works really, really well. Just a couple of tablespoons of soy, some fresh lime juice, a couple of limes. I don't know why I take the top off. I do this all the time. I take the top off. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm mad. All right, just let's squeeze those limes. Now, if they don't have a lot of juice, these ones are all right. If they don't have a lot of juice, maybe 3. Yeah, that's a decent amount. That's about 3 or 4 tablespoons. Then, as I said, I'll just move those spoons because this board's a little crooked. And then, as I said, I'll go back to that. I'll just slice a chilli and then give it a bit of a chopping. You don't have to do it too finely, but you certainly don't want huge chunks of it, so we will chop it up a little. All right, now the honey. A couple of good tablespoons of a nice full flavoured honey. And then we'll just whisk that up. And just mix it really well. Look, you don't need to heat it to dissolve the honey. You're fine. If you give it a good whisking, you'll be fine. Alrighty. Next, the snapper itself. Let's just grab some foil. A fairly decent amount of foil, because I want to wrap it up fairly tightly. And we'll just put the snapper on top there. And I'll just put a couple of cuts on each side. And the reason for that is I want this honey, soy and chilli mix to get into the centre a bit. So that's the best way to do it, is by having those cuts. It'll then impregnate the centre. That was a good phrase, wasn't it? So we'll just put plenty of this over the top of this fish, and just make sure you put a bit in there and then turn it over. Do exactly the same on the other side. You massage it in with your hands if you like. I'm not really that keen to get my hands into this. It's going to make a right mess, isn't it? Then all we do is tightly wrap it up. You can see why I use plenty of foil, because the whole thing is we've got quite a bit of liquid in there. So let's wrap it up really tightly, put it on an oven tray or in a roasting dish, and put it into a very hot oven. Now, I've preheated the oven for 10 or 15 minutes to get it really hot, and I'm then going to throw it in, and I'd say cook that 8 to 10 minutes. You do want to cook it really fast, because you want to get that real roasted flavour through it, and you also want the juices to caramelise just slightly. Right, now comes the hard part. Get it out of the foil. That can be a bit difficult. Sometimes does stick a bit, but anyway. Oh, that's looking all right. Oh, it smells great. It really does. Well, let's just carefully lift this up. Onto the plate. Just poke that skin underneath there that isn't looking too flash. And let's just pour the juices over the top. Yep, and I just think some simple leaves to go with it. Just something a little bitter would be nice. Toss them with a little olive oil. Rocket would be nice. Any of these slightly bitter ones would be great, just as the contrast to the sweetness. I think it work well. Just put those along the side. Just like that. And if you like, you could also serve that with just a half a lime, but I think that's pretty good exactly like that. Now, what's good about this is it's very simple to do in the oven. It gets a slightly smoky flavour, and also the combination of those flavours in it, you know, the sweet, the sour, the spicy, the salty, really makes that stand out.